A long day of helping other people, counseling other people, being a therapist to other people. And I'm a human too. And so after a full day's work, I want to talk about a particular topic. I watched a bit of the Shannon Sharp pod where Michael Beasley was his guest, and Michael said something that really resonated with me. He was basically talking about the passing of his granddad and how deeply that impacted him at the time. Yet, he couldn't grieve in that moment. You know, he experienced a loss and he kept living. You know, he kept rolling with the punches as if nothing ever really happened. And it just made me wonder, whether you know his story or not, he basically was a young professional NBA player who the media, the league, whomever created this narrative about him, and it impacted him in a negative way, you know, when really he was just a kid navigating the industry, an industry that oftentimes exploits our young men. And it made me think, it made me wonder, especially as the mother of a black boy, is that what if we created and provided the space for them to grieve in the moment, as opposed to experiencing trauma, experiencing a traumatic event, a loss, a setback, and then it taking 10, 20, 30, 40 years for them to actually process it and grieve that situation. What if we created that space while they were young and gave them the freedom to do that while they were young? Can you imagine how much more different our communities would be, how much more different they will move in the world, how much more self-worth they will have as they evolve into young men? Just recently dealt with a student not too long ago dealing with trauma at home, abuse at home, and still showing up to school every day, every single day, and doing what he's supposed to do. But he doesn't really have that space to grieve at home. I try to provide it at school, but imagine if he just had that consistency across the board. All the places he would go. All the places so many of our young men would go if we just created the safe space and let them know that it's okay. Validated their feelings. Let them know it's okay to feel that hurt. It's okay to feel the loss. But that's just my 2 cents about it. You can let me know what you think if you like. I will talk to you next time. Peace.